we made it to Friday.
You know, me too. Me too.
We got a lot of excitement in Studio 32 right now. The fact that it is Friday and we made it to the end of the work week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great weekend.
How we doing, parents? How we doing?
How we doing out there, parents?
How we doing, parents?
Know in the comments. Stream us. If you can be watching on the mothership, as we like to call it. You can watch us on YouTube.
Where you can make comments.
Where you can make comments. You can watch us on Facebook, where you can also make comments, or on Fox Local.
Lots
or the
of
website.
Places. Lots of places.
How many places is that? 4 or 5 different technologies.
14 different places. The reason I ask that is because I feel like we're getting into the school year now. You know, that fall feel, football starting.
That's right.
Making mistakes left and right. I had to tell Anthony I dropped the ball yesterday.
This had to do with pajama day, correct?
Yeah,
what happened?
So very exciting. I can pick Birdie up from school now that she's in kindergarten. Pull up, all the kids have pajamas on. Not my kid. And I would like lean out, hey, was today pajama day? And she goes, yeah, for all the parents who signed up for the fundraiser. I'm like, fundraiser? I am so bad at this school thing, Anthony. And so I looked back and I'm like, oh, that's the fine print at the bottom of the giant newsletter.
Get ready for all kinds of emails and newsletters and apps that you have to download.
I was like, and
portals that you have to get passwords for.
The day before.
Wait.
The day before. And I was like... Am I
understanding this correctly, Caitlin? The kids are rewarded with a pajama day only if their parents do like an administrative thing.
And double down.
Is that right? Did I get that right?
That's exactly right.
Wow. Wow.
The kids get presents or gifts if they raise money for the school. And I'm like, but what about the kids who can't raise money for the school? Like, do they get gifts? I don't know.
Sounds very incentive based.
I agree.
But that's a lot of responsibility for a kindergartner with fundraising.
Yeah. For me, it's more of like, hey, for working parents, we need it in bold print, sent 15 different ways and 15 different times. If something's going to happen, because you don't want your kid to feel left out.
Well, it took me years to get to know all the different delivery mechanisms, at least from our school district, because there's and I'm sure a lot of parents out there will be able to relate to this. You have communication coming from the administrators, like at the district level, then the principal's office, then the teacher, and then the individual teachers, okay? So it's like there's tiers to this, and you have to be like a hockey goalie to make sure you don't miss any vital info. And I can't tell you how many times we have missed stuff, that stuff slips past the goalie, and we'll miss a key detail like that.
Any tips or advice? Read, double read, and take notes. Teamwork.
With your husband. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like if I miss it, he'll catch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should basically maybe have 2 goalies in goal.
Okay.
If any other parents have advice on this, I'm sure I'm not the only one. The other thing is you have to download certain apps.
Yes.
And portals and communication
passwords
tools
and usernames and...
It is actually kind of wild. So when you say, 10 or 15 different delivery mechanisms, a lot of times that complicates things. I would love for it to be funneled into a single one.
How about a text message?
Text messages come too. We have a WhatsApp group too.
No. With who?
For all the parents of the class.
No. Who organized that?
The room mothers. And I'm guessing, at this point, Caitlin Cody's not the room mother.
I would be the worst.
God bless
the worst room
all the
mother.
people who do the room mother stuff.
You know what I will tell you though, Anthony? Guess what? Next week, I am going to be a volunteer in the classroom with my daughter in the morning. I took the day off
You better get a pajama day.
A+ for mom day.
You better get a makeup pajama day for your volunteer
I'm going to
work.
bring her in on Monday in her pajamas just because.
Does that mean you're not going to be here with us on ChicagoNOW?
But I'm going to be volunteering. I'm going to be like those room moms or whatever you just said.
We're going to need to live zoom in Caitlin.
That'd be fun.
Skipping out on ChicagoNOW to volunteer for.
I'm going to be an A+ mom.
What kind of volunteer work are you going to be doing?
Probably like, I don't know.
Greeting or something?
Filing papers. Who knows? Who knows? But I'm excited about it.
All right, we got a nice little Friday lineup for you.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
So many fun things.
Caitlin and I are so excited to be now on Fox 32, as well as all those other channels. And if you are new to the ChicagoNOW family, we do things a little more chill during this hour than during the newscasts.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
You know, it's 10 o'clock. You got the hustle and bustle over with. Everyone's where they're supposed to be. And maybe you're just at the gym or you're getting a coffee and you just want to listen. We're going to keep you in the loop with all of the things trending, going on. We have fun interviews. We're going to ask all the questions that might come to your mind. Probably is going to come to our mind too. It's like when you listen to a podcast and you're like, wait, the podcast is more a drawn-out conversation rather than the, quick, okay, you've got 25 seconds, okay, you got to rap, like we get to let it breathe a little bit. Let a little
breathe. And that said, if there's something big and breaking, we can cut in to a news conference. If anything major, for example, there's a couple pretty big news conferences happening today.
Yeah.
With regard to the fact that we may see National Guard members here in Chicago today. There's been some protests. There's a news conference, I think, happening at 11. We will keep you posted on all that stuff. But in the meantime, there's a lot going on this weekend, Caitlin, as we gear up for the first Bears game on Monday night. So
exciting.
Yes. Radio personality, musical artist, and host of Dish Nation's program, HeadKrack is his name. I like that nickname. Okay.
I want to know where it came from.
I think the show is called Side Dish, okay? And he is going to be in town. He's hosting a special event at the Den Theater tomorrow night. This is in Wicker Park. This is a program called Unmuted. HeadKrack, are you there, sir? Can you hear us?
Top of the morning to y'all.
Top of the morning to you, sir. Are you in town yet?
I'm not in town yet. My flight leaves later on this evening. I got a party to attend in Atlanta, and then after that party, headed to the airport, running through there like OJ. Sometimes we're good, and hopping on the plane and getting out of here.
HeadKrack, can you tell us where your name came from? What does HeadKrack mean?
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have ever gotten down on one knee and shaken some dice and threw them on the floor, but I'm from the Bronx, right? And there's a game called CeeLo, and whenever you roll a 4, 5, 6, the winner yells HeadKrack. So it's kind of like good fortune, good luck, we won, Yahtzee, Uno, all those good things. And if also you want to be metaphorical with it, I have a very open mind.
Yeah, sure. I love it.
I like both those interpretations.
Yeah.
Now, you are bringing your special brand of humor to Chicago at a show called Unmuted. Okay, you are describing this as comedy club meets block party and then crashes the theater. Run us through those elements and what people can expect, sir.
Well, I can't take all the credit. Shout out to the concept curator, Anna Marisol, also my manager and business partner. Basically, man, like we've been doing test runs of this program in other markets over the last couple years. It's taken different forms, like live comedy mixtape. Results May Vary is another name we operated under when we've done events. But Spotlight Control presents Unmuted is the first time we've done this in her home city of Chicago, and she handpicked all of the performers that are going to be rocking out tomorrow night at the Den Theater. It's a little bit of improv. It's a little bit of music. It's a lot of improvisation with the crowd as well, because, it's one thing to go to a show and see a show, but it's another thing to interact with the show and be a part of it. And that's one of the things that we try to, make sure is a mainstay across all the events that we do. We like to make it interactive so when people leave, they walk away talking about it. And we're all about, highlighting diverse voices and giving everybody an opportunity to shine their light so bright.
Okay, so you're in Atlanta. We love to ask, what is your favorite thing about Chicago? You're coming this evening, you have this weekend, what are you going to be doing, and what do you love about our beautiful city?
Okay, so I got different things I love about Chicago depending on when I'm there. Your summers are amazing.
Yeah.
Let's start with that. You know what I'm saying? If you downtown on foot, walking around all those parks, hitting up Mag Mile, doing some shopping, and y'all got unlimited food. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
Y'all got food we don't even have here in Atlanta. We have Crystals. Y'all have White Castle. And I know some people scoff, but being a native New Yorker, I love White Castle and I miss White Castle. But I also love y'all pizza, whether it's the thick, deep dish joints or those thin Chicago pizzas so you can eat the whole thing by yourself. Portillo's is also a mainstay for me. Harold's Chicken. There's a Jamaican spot. The name escapes me at the moment, but love the food, love the culture, love the energy of the city. And anytime I've come to Chicago, I've always gotten love. I came to Taste of Chicago at one point in time, as well as the Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're very familiar with our city. Okay, let me ask you this, HeadKrack. I know you guys do a live show. I just watched some clips of it on YouTube. It's called Side Dish, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Very entertaining stuff, but you're going to be doing a stage performance. What do you like most about performing on stage?
You know, the beautiful thing about performing live is when you're on stage with that mic in your hand addressing the crowd, there's nothing else going on in the world. You don't have no problems in that moment. You know, it's just you opening your box of gifts and sharing it with the audience. You know, it's like show and tell with a live studio audience. And every time I hit that stage, you know, it's always for different reasons. Sometimes I'm HeadKrack, the musical artist. Sometimes I'm HeadKrack, the comedy host. Sometimes I'm the moderator. Sometimes I'm just there doing Q&As for a panel and, you know, instructing people about different aspects of the businesses that, you know, that I operate in. So tomorrow night is going to be dope because I get to like wear both hats. I get to be on the comedic side with the improv and, you know, doing crowd work with the audience, and I also get to showcase my music as well.
So this might be a deeper question, but I'm just curious, after hearing all of this, so you do music, podcasting, radio, acting, comedy. If there's a young kid at home that's listening to this or that hears it down the road, what would you say to them to encourage them to reach for their goals? Because it seems like you've been successful in everything that you've tried here.
I mean, the thing is, you got to get out there and try. I think the hardest thing for some people is their fear of failure. And you just got to jump out there and give it a go. I've gotten a lot of things right, gotten a lot of things wrong. But at the end of the day, keep showing up.
How did you get your
keep showing up.
Keep showing up. I love that. Fail forward, as they sometimes say. HeadKrack, how did you get your start in the entertainment world?
It's a long story, and I'll try to shorten it, right? It all begins with me working at Target while I was in high school and calling the local radio station and battling people on the radio.
What?
Like rap battling? That kind of thing?
So they used to do this thing called the roll call, and people would be like, hey, what's your name? Where you calling from? Who's on the roll call about to get dumb? And they'd say a couple things about themselves. And I would listen to it, and I'd be like, yeah, that's cool and all, but what if I made it entertaining? So, like, I would call in and, like, insult the person that just, like, rap before me and then set the person up after that was going to rap after me. And if I closed the whole thing, oh, it was a ball game. So, you know, like after that, they started giving me prizes and started saying, hey, listen, we're not mailing it to you no more. Come to the station and get it. And they did that because they wanted to meet me. And then that just opened additional doors that eventually got me on the radio.
Hold on, you worked at Target,
That's so cool.
Target is one of my favorite places to be. Do you still
Expect more, pay less.
That's so fun. Wow. Well,
how old were you at the time?
Back then, I was probably like 17.
The best job ever. So you, obviously your personality is huge, and this is where the acting and the podcasting and getting that hit on the radio comes into play. What can people expect from you this weekend in Chicago on your show? Like a couple tidbits.
So as it relates to me, I'm going to make y'all the fourth or fifth member of the ensemble team, you know, on stage, even though it's a whole audience. You know, we got some tricks up our sleeves, and that's the whole thing that we like to do. It's the surprise element of it all. If we told you everything that we was going to do, it kind of, you know, takes the sting away from the surprise. But what I can say is, you're going to hear some new music off my brand new project, Microdose Plus, which just dropped on Tuesday. We got some amazing games that we're going to play with the audience, as well as some new improv things that the Open Book team has been putting together that's going to be really dope. You also got Trash Panda Comedy that's going to be rocking out. And then you have some friends of mine from Dallas that go by the name of Brand New Funk. It's a drummer and DJ ensemble that, yo, you drop them off in any party and the party gets live.
Yeah.
So all of those things happening at once, we should be charging more.
Okay. How much are tickets, by the way? And are any still available?
I believe there are a few tickets available. If you go to the dentheater.com, you can click on a link, click on tomorrow night's shows, and you'll see Control Presents Unmuted, and you can pick your seat and be sure you get a close one so we can, you know, make eye contact.
I love it because he's going to do the crowd work. They're going to, again, you're going to become the ensemble, part of the ensemble if you attend this show. HeadKrack, good luck tomorrow. Enjoy your time in Chicago, sir. Can't wait to hear all about it.
Likewise, hope to see y'all there. We got some seats for you if you want to pull up.
We have a sitter on Saturday night, so you never know. You never know. Maggie and I have a sitter. HeadKrack, good luck to you, sir. Can't wait to see you down the road. All right. And that is so fun when the audience kind of... Chicago's got the most amazing improv scene.
Yeah.
Second City, the Annoyance Theater, all that stuff. This show, again, it's happening at the Den Theater tomorrow night, Doors open at 7, show starts at 7:30. Again, where the comedy club meets the block party, and they all collide on stage.
People who can do like the crowd work, I feel like you have to be wicked smart.
Really?
Whip fast.
So, exactly, and your listening skills have to be so, you have to be dialed in.
Yeah.
Whenever I see those YouTube or clips on your Instagram where someone's doing that
like
crowd
Matt
work.
Rife is so good at it.
Oh my gosh.
I can't even, it would take me 35 minutes to think of something, like a comeback of, there's no way.
He's got it like on quick draw.
Yeah.
All right, so there's been some disappointing news in the WNBA. Actually, over the last 24 hours, 2 of the biggest superstars in the league sidelined.
Right.
I'll start with the local star, Angel Reese. Did you hear? Out for 1 game.
Yeah.
She I guess after 8 technicals, the league says suspended for a game.
Do you think that she'll be shaping up after this?
We'll see.
Behaving, if you will.
Brand of play, it's physical brand of play.
Sure.
So she's out, and then Caitlin Clark. And I'm guessing the league is not happy about this one. Out for the rest of the season.
When did this season start?
I'd have to get an exact
date.
We will Google that. But I know Caitlin Clark only played 13 games this season. So coming up after this short break, we're going to be speaking with a doctor from Rush University about the nature of this kind of injury. It involves, it's a groin injury. She's been nursing it. She was hoping to make a comeback. Got the bad news that I think the fever is basically thinking long term rather than short term.
Oh.
Yes. So we're going to be speaking with a doctor about Caitlin Clark, the nature of this injury, when we come back. So stay with us here on Chicago Now.
Make the end.
Welcome back. So it's been a tough season for the Indiana Fever, and especially for the star guard Caitlin Clark after battling multiple injuries. A groin issue she suffered just before the All-Star break has now ended her season early. Clark says she's heartbroken but determined to come back even stronger in 2026. So to help us better understand what she's facing and what recovery looks like for an athlete at her level, we're joined by a doctor with Midwest Orthopedics at Rush and also a sports medicine doctor who has worked with the Chicago Bulls, Dr. Jeremy Allen. Good morning to you, Jeremy. Uh-oh, I don't think we can hear you. Are you on mute?
Sometimes it takes a second for it to kick in. Is that on our end, guys?
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There you are. Good morning.
Got you loud and clear, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Morning.
Can we start off talking about what this groin injury, like Caitlin Clark's, typically involves and why it can be so difficult to come back from?
Yeah, the dreaded groin injury. Groin just kind of tells you where the location of the injury is, but it doesn't actually tell you the details of what's going on. The groin is a very important part for an athlete. Anytime you go to jump or cut or play defense in basketball, you need your groin to be working with you. And so if you have pain in that area, you're just not going to be able to function. Assuming it's a muscle or a tendon issue, it's just a situation where it just doesn't want to take on the load. And I'm sure she's tried a million times to come back and clearly has kept having setbacks.
Yeah, I'm reading her tweet right now, Dr. Allen. She said, I spent hours in the gym every day with the singular goal of getting back out there. Disappointed isn't a big enough word to describe how I am feeling. So she obviously put in the work to make it happen. One complicating factor I'm reading here, Dr. Allen, is she also dealt with a bone bruise late in the recovery process. So can you run us through how something like that can possibly complicate or slow down the whole rehab process?
Yeah, I mean, the rehab process is one of the hardest things that an athlete, and especially a professional athlete, goes through. It's generally pretty isolating. They don't get to do the thing that they love to do. As Caitlin probably is magnified, she has to answer questions every single day about when she's coming back. People talk about her frequently. And I think as you put in time and effort and you try to get back, there's other injuries that can happen. So in a bone bruise situation, it could have been she put in a lot of work and the bone took on too much load. She could have had an injury that they didn't report, a secondary injury. And anytime you have those complicating factors, it's always going to slow down your ability to get back from the original injury.
So I'm thinking about a groin injury. Do you think that this was, as you just mentioned, a one-time thing where she maybe like twisted or moved a certain way that kind of pulled that muscle in her groin, or do you think it was just the consistent day-to-day impact?
It probably was a combination of both, if you're being honest. And the reason we think that is because there wasn't that singular moment where we all have that viral YouTube clip where she's going down and you're like, she tore something right at that moment. There was a moment, I know that she had more pain, but I think it's probably cumulative load that eventually led to maybe one moment where it hurt more and then they shut her down.
You've worked with the Bulls in the past. Does the announcement by Clark and the Fever that they're basically saying, all right, this season's not going to happen, we're going to focus on her coming back healthy next year, does that surprise you at all?
It doesn't at all. As a team physician for the Bulls, I work with these athletes all the time, and you know, I'm honestly kind of surprised it maybe took this long. I think there's only a few games left in the season. It's a lot of pressure on her. You know, she has to face the media every single day, and certainly with social media, and probably is tired of hearing the question of when you're coming back. And I think when you shut her down and she says, I'm not coming back this season, it really takes a load off where she can focus on getting better, doesn't have to answer those questions anymore, doesn't have that timeline of do I get back for playoffs and so on and so forth. I think she can really just focus on herself, and usually it just goes a lot better.
So the recovery for a groin issue, is it just a lot of rest, maybe icing, and just, is she moving at all? Do you think they're exercising her at all, or is she just taking it easy?
Yeah, you just asked the multi-million-dollar question, didn't you? I think the realistic answer here is, you know, it's not strictly just rest. I mean, they may pull back on her a little bit at this point, but you don't want all of the work that she's put in to go away. You don't want to atrophy and have the muscles get weaker and so on and so forth. I think realistically, what we'll see when we treat athletes like this, where we kind of have them shut down for the rest of the season, is we can probably just go a little bit slower. There's a little less pressure to say, what are we going to have by next week? What are we going to have by 3 days from now? Instead, it's, okay, let's make a long-term plan. What do we want to look like a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now? And if we have little setbacks, we can be a little bit more forgiving to say, okay, let's just go a little bit slower. It's just a lot easier from a perspective of trying to be forgiving to the rehab process and to the body.
One more question for you while we have you. I kind of want to zoom out here, Dr. Allen, and talk about broader trends in the WNBA and the NBA. Okay. I'm one of those guys, you know, I grew up during the Michael Jordan years, and one of the things that I remember about his career and a lot of athletes in that era is that they would like play all 82 games. I mean, Jordan, I think himself played all 82 games multiple years. These days, you hear so much about load management, okay? But then again, you have guys like LeBron James playing at a really high level into their 40s now, right? I mean, isn't he pushing 40 years old? What is the broader trend here? Like, are we going to see more of this where, you know, folks get rested for parts of the season and go for multiple years over the priority of, hey, playing all 82 games of the season and really kind of pushing through these kinds of acute injuries?
Yeah, it's an awesome question. I mean, as the NBA Physician Association, we meet a couple times a year and they present us all the injury data and we go through it and try to figure out, you know, where are the gaps and how can we do better. I think maybe to anybody who's listening, who's a parent or has a young athlete, the thing that we have noticed the most is that these athletes are putting on a ton of load even before they get to the professional levels that the other athletes weren't. I mean, Michael Jordan's famous for loving baseball almost more than basketball, right? So he was playing multiple sports. He wasn't playing basketball all the time. Now with like AAU and the way that that's going, I mean, there's kids that are playing almost more than my NBA basketball players are on a given year. And so by the time they hit 18, 19, 20, 25 years old, they've put on so much more mileage than a lot of the athletes back in the 80s and 70s had done. And there's no denying that that's contributing to this in some form or fashion.
Wow.
In terms of load management, which was a great question, most of that data has more or less shown that it hasn't helped a whole lot. So I'm not saying it's not worth it to load manage people, but at the same time, we're trying to figure out how do we keep these guys on the floor, and in this case, Caitlin Clark on the floor. How do we make it so that they can perform at their highest level, have less injuries? I think from my perspective, we have to start looking at before they're 18 years old and figure out how we manage those loads.
I want to clip that and post it wide and viral, because what I've noticed, Dr. Allen, at least in my neighborhood, is these kids, as soon as they do a tryout team, whether it's baseball or moving from flag to tackle football, there are like 4 or 5 practices a week, multiple games on the weekends, and you're saying that mileage adds up and takes a toll before they even graduate college.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sitting in my clinic right now. I'm about to see even more patients, and I promise you there will be a few athletes today who are just doing too much at a young age. They're specializing too early. You know, I try to put out a lot of good information on my own social media, and I will say the stuff that seems to resonate the most is with parents about young athletes and trying to figure out how do I get them involved, but also not too involved. And the youth sports system has made it very, very challenging for that. The House League program has completely deteriorated to a certain extent. I have young children. I'm trying to navigate how do I let them play a sport, but not feel like they have to play it all the time, not feel like they're behind. It's an incredibly challenging time, but it's definitely contributing to earlier burnout where they're quitting sports by the time they get to high school, especially the talented kids. And even more importantly, it's definitely contributing to injury. We're seeing early and earlier injury.
Ooh,
this is a whole other topic.
That is such a good one.
We're gonna keep your info. I would love to unpack that more down the road. Where can folks follow you on social media, sir?
Yeah, it's easy. Jeremy Allen, MD. I'm on most of the channels, but Instagram is probably where I'm most active. And I have a new podcast that just started, Hey Doc, Quick Question, that you can find on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcast.
Hey
so
Doc, Quick Question comes
really short answers.
Yeah, no. Thank you so much for the perspective. Really looking forward to keep in touch with you down the road, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of your week.
Absolutely.
I thought you were going to ask him about your shoulder.
Well, exactly.
Wait.
Quick question. I will bend his ear all day. But what he said about house leagues, okay, baseball in particular, in my neighborhood, what's happening is the talent level and the competition, the house leagues, these neighborhood park district leagues, is being eroded because all these kids are going to the travel teams, the club teams, and so what he said does not surprise me at all. The dynamic is totally shifting, and it's disappointing to hear that these kids are getting burned out. Mom, Dad, this is too much by the time
How
they're
do we fix
14.
This? Because here's the problem too. You don't want your kid to get behind.
Exactly.
So in my world of girls, I see this with gymnastics and cheerleading. It is unbelievable the dedication that these parents have with their kids to do these sports. But like, I was thinking the same thing. Like one of our old neighbors, for example, their son is in travel hockey, and he takes it seriously to the point where he's in elementary school, but they're getting up before school and doing all this training. And as a parent, getting into, you know, with kids that are getting older, is it okay? Where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
Like, do you just listen to what they want to do and you just don't push them? It's hard to say.
It's like he said, that balance.
And those
people are trying
developing bodies.
Yeah.
You know what
I actually think that what he said, I can speak for the gents here and some of the coaches that I'm in touch with in my own neighborhood, what I think will hit home is what he said about injuries and burnout. Okay, because like instead of going to the sandlot to play casual baseball with your buddies in the neighborhood, kids have like swing coaches now. Oh, we're gonna go see your swing coach on your day off. Come on. You know what I mean? And so if they hear, okay, injury is a thing, I think that'll cause everybody to say, hey, let's take a step back. Let's take inventory of these trends.
Or they're going to say, let's go until we get an injury.
Yeah, exactly. Or buddy, you're going to science camp next year.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Oh, man. Parenting.
What do you do? What do you do?
Improvisation.
I thought you were going to say doctor, because Anthony's been having shoulder problems.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
even as like adults, you know, us folks that aren't going to be professional athletes, if we hurt ourselves, should we continue to work out? If we pull a muscle, do we stop altogether? I mean, I guess it's basically
physical therapy. You've dealt with injury too. I mean, you're
my freaking leg.
For our new audience members, Caitlin has been nursing a leg recovery for some weeks.
Varicose vein situation, great. You know. I've still got a couple, but if you were curious, I did post it on my Instagram.
The whole journey has been kind of fascinating to follow.
Yeah.
Like it seems like you're pretty
much
recovered.
I jogged for 30 minutes this week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have varicose vein issues in your leg, we went on a deep dive here on Chicago Now. Showed you the bandaged leg
is the tingling and all that?
No, it's still numb. It still feels weird. But it's slowly getting better. It's not so scary. I know a lot of people deal with varicose vein. I had so many messages of women especially asking me about the varicose vein situation and the treatment and stuff. But yeah,
dig into Caitlin's social media because you got some great info for people who may be considering doing the same procedure.
All the juicy details.
Indeed. All right, we are going to take a quick break, but as we mentioned off the top of the show, outdoor concert season is far from over, and we're going to hear from an expert, been covering Chicago, the Chicago music scene for decades now, about some of her top picks for the month of September. Selena Fragassi is coming up next, so stay with us, everybody.
Welcome back, 10:34 now, and we are joined with someone who is much cooler than you and I am.
Yes, indeed.
Much cooler. This is Selena Fragassi. She's a music journalist, believe it or not. Last month we talked to Chicago-based journalist, this one, about her history covering Lollapalooza over the past almost 20 years. So her expansive knowledge of the Chicago music scene impressed us so much we had to have her back. She's actually going to be here once a month to talk.
After your third visit, so you're on number 2 now. After your third visit, you officially become a friend of the show.
Oh, it's not yet.
Exactly.
Not yet. We're acquaintances at this point. Excited. So talking about these festivals that are coming up, you said you wanted to start off with the Riot Fest.
You guys mentioned outdoors, so summer is not over yet. I mean, today you
technically.
You couldn't tell today because it's freezing, but one more big festival is coming up in 2 weekends. Riot Fest, September 19th to 21st at Douglas Park. And it's incredible. It's 20 years also this year, just like Lala. I know.
Riot Fest is 20 years too?
20 years.
Wow.
Has it always been at Douglas Park?
No.
Okay.
So it started as a fan really started it, and it's always been independent. It used to be in a stretch of venues along Milwaukee Avenue, and then it moved to Humboldt Park, and now in Douglas Park for I think at least 5 years. I'm not sure how long. But
So Riot Fest is here. You said the 19th through the 21st. What can people expect?
So Riot Fest is the one place you can get Weird Al Yankovic, Jack White, and Hanson in the same place.
I love it.
I mean, who else would do that, right?
Weird Al's going to be there.
Weird Al making his debut. He has a whole stage actually that
Does he
he's
look
curated.
the same?
I think so.
Yeah, I've seen some recent footage of him.
Yeah.
He looks pretty much the same.
My
Theo,
brothers loved him.
my 9-year-old, this is so funny you mentioned Weird Al. He's going as Weird Al for Halloween this year. He always picks these, like he picked Edward Scissorhands, and everyone's like, your parents are dressing you up. No, 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 this is all Theo.
I love it.
He's obsessed with the song Amish Paradise.
Okay.
That's so
Well, he did well because he knows who
fun.
Weird Al is. I don't think many
Old soul.
Kids his age probably doesn't know.
Okay.
That's not. I mean, there's headliners too.
Yes,
Those are
okay, run us through, yeah.
You know, early day acts, but there's Blink-182, Green Day, Weezer, John Stamos is going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Riot Fest has been trying since 2013 to get this man to come to Riot
Yes.
Fest. Kind of as a joke, they wanted to get Jesse and the Rippers from Full House to reunite, fake band, but he's coming this year. To
Did
play
we
the
get
Beach
an
Boys.
official, like, yes, he's coming?
So he said there's conditions, right? But
The
some have
checklist?
happened already. So Riot Mike
Tattoo.
got the tattoo already.
Did we get the pizza?
Which is,
There's
did
5.
you see Riot Mike's tattoo?
I did.
It is.
It's a butter. It's like
It's
a butter
big.
stick. Yeah.
It's big. It like covers his entire.
He's committed.
He's very committed.
You can't get more committed than Riot Mike.
No.
So, yeah.
So yeah, he's coming. So officially he's coming.
I mean,
all the things have been
I
checked.
don't have any intel, but I would imagine because Riot Fest they're committing to all of the requests so far that he's wanted.
Eyes are
How
dotted,
would you
T's are crossed.
characterize the personality of Riot Fest? I know that there's been controversy, at least of late, with some of the neighbors in Douglas Park.
Yeah.
But like, what's the for folks who haven't been and maybe they're familiar more with like Lollapalooza or some of the neighborhood festivals? How would you describe Riot Fest?
I think Riot Fest is like the fun, punky, artsy sibling to Lala. I think you get a very different crowd there, and Lala is great. I mean, you get a lot of younger fans, you get a lot of kind of pop fans, kind of top 40, you know, mainstream. But Riot Fest is really like the music fans, the diehards go there, and it's really the only place you're going to get all these eclectic acts in one weekend. You'd never see this on another festival because they're independent. They can kind of do what they want.
I love that.
Yeah.
Are we worried about Lady Gaga? Her concert's the 15th through the 18th, but I know she just had to cancel one of her concerts this week because of an injury. Do you think she'll be okay?
She canceled Miami last night, like at the very last minute. She said there was stress on her vocal cords. I will say we have 10 plus days till she comes here, and there's a few more cities in between. I think Toronto, New York are before us. So,
oh, okay.
I mean, she is a pro, and she has been waiting to bring this arena to her. It's her first since 2018.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay.
Okay.
Going back to Riot just for a second.
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned that they have flexibility that other events don't have because they're independent. Will you kind of explain a little bit for those of us who aren't familiar with the world of music why that independence gives you that level of flexibility that, like, let's say, I don't know, does Lala not have that level? Do labels get involved? Does Live Nation get involved with these kinds of things?
So Lala is run by C3, who is a great group, like really not knocking them. They're
Yeah.
in Austin, they run Austin City Limits, they know what they're doing. But it's kind of like comparing an independent music artist versus one signed to a label, right? When there's label people involved, they have their say. They want to have some decision making. Whereas if you're truly independent, it kind of just comes from you and your instincts, and people kind of trust you because you've been doing it for so long. Riot Mike is a fan.
Is the guy.
He started it as a fan.
And since it's grown so much, he will get a call back from a Blink-182 or a Weird Al. He's like to that level now.
Oh yeah, he has like personal connections with a lot of bands. And the cool thing about Riot is he gets these bands to reunite and to play full albums. Again, no other festival is really doing that. Weezer's playing the Blue album in full.
Wow.
And a few others are doing full album plays.
Cool.
Okay, talking about other festivals. What about the Folk Fest? I've never even Evanston Folk Fest.
Up in our old
Festivals this
stomping
month.
ground.
Yeah. So Evanston Folk Fest returns this year. It was new last year. 2 days on the waterfront at Dawes Park, and it pulls a lot from the folk, Americana, country
Is that
kind
this
of
weekend?
world. It's this weekend.
What's the date today? It's this weekend. It's the 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
7th and 8th.
Dawes Park. So
It's beautiful. It's right on Lake Michigan, right? And
Sorry, 6th and 7th. I probably got that wrong. 6th and 7th. It's tomorrow and Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Monday.
Yeah.
So the Folk Fest, who's going to be playing there? Did you name a couple of the bands?
Yeah, so Margot Price and Iron and Wine are going to be headlining, two amazing Americana kind of country acts. There's some other acts like Buffalo Nichols, who's from Milwaukee. He mixes like blues with Americana and folk. He's incredible. Amethyst Kia, another kind of like Southern Gothic kind of Americana. I mean, the curation is incredible. The location is amazing, right in the waterfront. And then actually Chicago Public Media, Home in the Sun-Times, will be doing artist conversations in a separate tent.
oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Okay, a little more cerebral. Okay, Sound and Gravity. What is this? I don't think I've heard of this yet. This is September 10th through 14th?
Yeah, it's 5 days, so it's brand new this year.
Oh, no wonder I haven't heard of it
It was
then.
started by Mike Reed, who put together Pitchfork or Intonation before it became Pitchfork. So now that Pitchfork is sadly gone, he created a new festival, and it's all over Avondale.
Oh, cool.
It looks cute. Look at their little sign there.
Yeah.
Almost kind of retro.
Retro, yeah, I do like that.
Except, you know, where the pieces where Pitchfork kind of left off. It's a really great another independent festival.
Okay. And then Kingfish Ingram, September 19th at Park West.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So if you've seen the movie Sinners, which if you haven't,
Oh, Jake says it's unbelievable.
it's incredible. It's Ryan Coogler, who's part of the like Marvel worlds, but he created this like fever dream vampire movie set in like early 1900s South, but there's a whole underbelly of the history of the blues in it. And so Kingfish makes a cameo with Buddy Guy actually in this film, and he did the score as well.
Oh.
But he's coming to Park West, and what's great about Kingfish is he's literally 26 years old, and he plays blues like the 80-year-old masters. Buddy Guy loves him, and he really brings it forward to a new generation. You know, blues is one of these genres that if we don't have newer artists, I fear it could go away. So he's.
Are you going to go to all of these concerts?
I'm hoping.
Is this like part of your
job? See, the thing is, like this month has so many. There's some conflicts, so I can't do Kingfish because I'll be covering Riot Fest.
It's a good problem to have. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. I'm going to be all,
Selena, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your expertise. I'm glad you're going to be here every month because I feel like my learning curve is very steep right now when it comes to tapping back in to the Chicago music scene.
Like
we got
what's
kids
cool,
now.
what's
I
cool,
know.
what's happened, what's popping.
City for live music.
I love it. Selena Fragassi, everybody, thank you so much.
You guys
We'll
so
be
much.
back with more Chicago Now right after this.
Welcome back to Chicago Now, and I am about to fangirl over Derek Hough. We get to talk to him. We get to talk to him. Okay, so He's brought ballroom dance to the living rooms of millions of Americans. Instagram, look at him go, look at him go. If you look at his social media account, outstanding dancer, but now he's taking on an entirely new role on the small screen. So Derek, you're joining Extra as the host of its upcoming 32nd season, which premieres on Monday. Congrats to you, sir. Yay! Okay, hopefully we can get his mic going a little bit.
I've noticed there's a lag time. Derek, can you hear us okay?
Can I what, sorry?
There he is.
There he is. Now he can hear us okay. I just wanted to make sure our audio connection was as good as our video connection.
You could just dance and we'll talk.
And a personal connection
Yes.
is on fire.
I can already feel it.
So Derek, tell us about this journey from dancing professionally, and now you're going to be a host. How did this happen for you?
I have no idea. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know where I am. What is, No, honestly, I'm so excited. I'm just a fan. I'm a fan of entertainment. I'm a fan of people. And so to be in this role where I get to, interact and be on the red carpets and talk and have conversations with these amazing, artists, it's a dream come true. It really, truly is, And what's wild is it's kind of a full circle moment. I've been on Extra, since I was 22 years old. And now here we are, however many years later, and then now the host. It's pretty exciting. So I'm looking forward to this new adventure.
What are you looking forward to most about this particular new role?
I think I'm just looking forward to, exercising this new muscle, of interviewing and chatting and having conversations. Already, it started with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell, Jessica Chastain later today, and Heidi Klum and The Rock and Emily Blunt. I'm starting small, Small
names.
I'm excited. I'm excited to just have these great conversations, and also to bring a little bit of fun, and entertain while I'm sharing entertainment news. So it's gonna be fun.
So I'm reading here that you and your wife Haley are expecting your first child.
What?
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
How are things going?
Yes. I can't believe it. And what a time to give birth to a new era of Extra, and also literally give birth to a new child. I'm really excited though, to be a dad and have my heart cracked wide open and for everything to change. I can't wait.
When's the due date?
Coming up in a couple months. So
no way.
It's yeah.
Third trimester. Sounds like third trimester.
Oh, I'm so happy for you guys. That's awesome.
You mentioned entertaining while you host. Can we expect what? Like, we talking about dance moves? Like, in what format could we expect to see you perform?
Listen, there might be some body rolls. There might be some hip action happening. No, I think, honestly, that's the new studio, the new set right here. I think one of my requests was, hey, can we have like a dance floor? Can we have like a wood floor, please? So, we're going to come up with some fun things and, like I said, entertain while sharing some entertainment news. So it's going to be a good time.
So you're going to be working for Extra. You're also going to be a new dad, and you're going to be a judge on Dancing with the Stars still. What? How do you do it all?
How are you going to juggle it, sir?
Oh, man, easy peasy. I say that, ask me when the child comes, and I'll be like, oh my goodness, never mind, I wasn't ready. No, honestly, there's all that old expression, that old adage, if you want something done, give it to somebody that's busy. I find myself, I feel very clear when I'm on tour, when I'm traveling around the country and doing another job. Like, I find like it's kind of a weird thing. I almost like have more time when I'm doing a lot because I get more focused.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I have more focus in what I do. So when I'm not working, I'm so present. I'm so like in the moment. So and by the way, it's like 15 minutes away from where I live, so it's perfect.
No
that's
way.
perfect. That's perfect.
I feel the same way, Derek. Like when you go to work and you like get that energy out, and then when you're home, you can just totally focus on what you're doing.
You're kind of in the zone. Exactly.
Yeah. Just coffee, more coffee.
Derek, we are getting not the hard rap, but a soft one. Do you have any other tips for how you juggle so much? You're such a well-rounded individual that you could share with us before we let you go.
Well, I'll actually tell you something real fast because we're in Chicago right now. I'm actually going to be in Chicago December 5th, actually, with my new convention called Ovation. Val from Dance with the Stars, Jenna, my sister Julianne, Mark Ballas, myself, Robbie Blue, who choreographed the Gap commercial, the viral one. We're all going to be in Chicago December 5th for a dance convention, competition, and also a show. So we'll see you all in Chicago.
December 5th. I don't know how he manages it all. Derek Hough, great luck to you in your new role, sir. Can't wait to watch.
Congrats.
See you later, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, God, I am astounded. There's people who are just, they hog all the talent. He's one of those guys.
He reminds me of Jake Hamilton, his energy level.
They also have unbelievably good hair.
And the blonde.
And grooming.
Yes.
Like they just know how to style that hair.
And they keep it in place. His sister is
Julianne Hough.
She's probably the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life.
They clearly got good genes. They got the Hollywood genes. You know, so on that note, like, okay, there's some, like Nate Burleson and Michael Strahan, these football players who just, they're as good broadcasters as they are on.
I know.
And, you know, it's just,
I want to meet their parents. Tell me how. What is the secret? Because they're just so full of energy and life, and
it's great.
Like you said,
can't wait to see him. Okay, so Caitlin,
are we getting into the spiders?
Here we get to get into our Reddit topics, and it's been way too long since we got to dive into
this
Reddit.
will be fun.
The Chicago subreddit, these trending topics. Chicagoans always have a lot to say about what is happening in our city.
Yeah.
And as we kind of turn the corner from summer to fall, have you noticed our eight-legged friends around? Spiders. Because there's a question that is headlining the Chicago subreddit, and that is, has Chicago always had this many spiders?
And yes, they have, I believe. Can I tell you a little story?
Okay.
A couple years back, we had a basement that was invaded with spiders, wolf spiders, this time of year, to the point where we had like storage bins and stuff. They were in the bins. They were everywhere. We had a bathroom downstairs. I would wake up in the morning, 5 giant wolf spiders in the bathtub. So I did a little research. They're nasty. And it's this time of year because it's getting colder outside. These spiders are going to try to get into your house.
So that's why they're just migrating indoors?
Exactly right.
Because I feel like I'm, at the same time, Caitlin, seeing a lot of overnight webs. You know, when I leave for work at 3 a.m., I'm like, sometimes I walk right through them and I can't.
God, no.
Yeah, they're on my neck.
No, you don't.
I mean, not the spiders themselves, but the web.
You don't know, though,
And then I'll drive, my headlights will catch the web, and they're master engineers, and they create, yeah, you're right, you don't quite know if it's a spider or the web, but I've been noticing them. Suspicious Bee on Reddit wrote, the amount of spiders I see on a daily basis is something I don't think I will ever get over. I mean, everywhere I look, there's at least 4 spiders. One of them is pregnant. From bus stops to windows, trees, stop signs, doors, you can't escape them. Suspicious Bee, I am right with you. I feel like I've not only just noticed them inside, but outside my house as well.
I was coming down the elevator today in our building here, and I was on the phone with my husband. I was like, oh, God. And he's like, what? I was like, there's an inside of a wolf spider. Like, get off the elevator, right there, big wolf spider. I saw one in our hallway downstairs, too, the other day. And I just let him go. Some people squish them, but I keep
telling my boys, they're taking care of a lot of the other insects. So don't worry about it.
Run away. I heard that the wolf spiders actually will prey on like poisonous spiders, like the brown recluse.
Because wolf spiders are not poisonous?
Right. Yeah. So that's why. I mean, that's why.
I really hope there's not brown
recluse. But they can just get such thick. Like I think there are. They're around. Yeah. They're around.
Okay. Here's another question.
One more thing about wolf spiders.
Go for it.
I've done a lot of research. They chase down their prey. So they make kind of like caves of webs, and they don't catch bugs in their web to consume them. They will chase them and catch them.
So why do they, I don't get that. They make their webs caves.
Yeah.
Okay, so like multiple webs forming.
Like it's not a web like you would picture.
It's more of a cavernous.
Exactly. And they will crawl out and chase after their prey.
Ooh,
isn't that crazy?
Okay.
Maybe that's why they're called wolf spiders. We'll have to talk to an expert.
Etymologist.
I'm into it.
We got to get one on the show. We got to get an expert to answer this one. All right, another question we are being asked this morning to reflect upon. What Chicago neighborhoods do you consider, quote, basically the suburbs?
I've gotten messages about this.
I'm going to go with Sauganash. Lincolnwood's actually a suburb, but like Saguenash, you go up there, Northwest Side, it is like, it's so beautiful, first of all. You don't feel like you're in the city. There's some like windier streets, bigger houses. That to me definitely feels like a bit on the suburban side. Also, who do we have here the other day from Mount Greenwood? That is another one. I believe that is in the city of Chicago. It's a neighborhood of Chicago. You ever been down to Mount Greenwood? That's
no.
South side, far south side. Tons of city employees down there, by the way. Such great people down there. Beverly, Mount Greenwood, those feel like suburban to me, even though they're in the city. But they're kind of both. Morgan Park, that whole area, like. It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
All right, Caitlin, one more question.
I have a hard time with that one because they go so far too. Like, where does the suburbs cut off, and you're like no longer a Chicago suburb? Yeah, like technically,
because like a lot of some folks, you know, when they consider places like Berwyn, Cicero, they're like extensions of the west side of Chicago. The architecture, the streetscape is very similar, so those almost feel like it's not suburbs but extensions of the city.
Oh.
And then you get into like Oak Park and all that, which kind of feels like an extension of the city in some ways as well, because the Green Line keeps going over there.
It's hard to say.
Here's another question. You might be able to reflect on this, Caitlin, because I know you got a long commute.
Yeah.
What is wrong with people's driving? Payar writes, I just visited Chicago from Windsor, Ontario, and honestly, why is the driving so complicated? I visited for a day and saw at least 10 cars running red lights, not only in downtown, but on the edges of the city as well. Don't get me wrong, drivers where I live and in Michigan are not any better, but I have never seen them run through a red light like that.
I've seen it too. Depends on the time of day. I see it all the time.
I do too.
In the morning, really, really early.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and say this and just put this out there. I feel like the quality of driving in Chicago, because I've spent a lot of time in Indiana. I know that's where you're way better on the Illinois side.
People are too aggressive, especially the taxi drivers.
I don't mind aggressive if you're proficient.
Okay.
At the job of driving. Hey, I'm getting some applause. Thank you. Aggressive is fine as long as you're good. Bad and aggressive, that's a bad combo. That's dangerous, but... Sorry, Hoosiers.
I have my blinker on.
I've lived in Indy for many years.
Let me in.
You guys are awful drivers compared to Chicagoans.
But we don't.
I'm not saying.
But we don't run red
Northwest
lights,
Indiana.
Anthony.
I think I'm more commenting on my very good friends downstate, down I-65. I see Tia Ewing. I see Brian Jackson.
Do you put your foot to the gas?
Every once in a while.
You put the pedal to the metal.
Yellow means go. Yellow means go. And you know what? When you're turning left from one light to at a four-way stop intersection, pull out into that intersection. Give the driver behind you a fighting chance. We're going to need a whole segment for my driving.
You would hate me driving. I am such a grandma.
You probably drive like 60 miles an hour in the left lane.
And I get honked at all the time.
You probably do. That's Caitlin, everybody.
I'm extra cautious.
I'm going to lecture her.
You know?
All right, we're going to go to break. Our 11 o'clock hour Chicago Now is up next. I see Tia. I see Brian. They are up next. Have a great rest of your Friday, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Head to Montrose. everybody. Thank you so much for joining Chicago Now. I think everybody's happy to be here because it's Friday. And this is Brian Jackson's first time joining us on the show. Yeah, give that a round of applause. We have a jam-packed show today. I'm happy that you're joining me, so this will be a good time. We're going to talk to an author. What did you say? I'm sorry. We're always talking about all kinds of stuff, but we're going to talk to an author who I think is really interesting. It's like a really crazy story about a car that was stolen and all of this other stuff, a really expensive car. It's like a true crime story that plays out in a book. And then we're going to talk to Illuminatis, but first we got to talk about our really esteemed guest that we have with us today.
Of course, you know, Chicago's breeding ground for music.
Yes.
Chaka Khan's performing this weekend too.
Yes, I know that. Are you going?
City. Maybe, yeah. I think 79th Street Festival, but you got two hometown powerhouses. They're taking that music legacy to the next level.
Yes.
Joined by John Monopoly, who helped, of course, discover the one and only Kanye West.
Yes.
Worked alongside Virgil Abloh and Greg Beef Jones, of course, in the city's creative scene. They teamed up to launch what they're calling Hustle.Distribution.
Yes.
An artist-owned platform being called Chicago's answer to the major label system. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So break this down for us. How does this work? Because we've heard a lot of these popular artists that we listen to today always talk about, you know, I want my masters, I want to own my music, and it seems like a constant debate in the music industry. What does your platform do that maybe some of these major labels don't do?
Well, Hustle.Distribution offers the answer to artists wanting to, like you said, return ownership of their masters. When I was coming up in the game, I just turned 50 a couple weeks ago, but when I was in my 20s, me and all my counterparts were always going to New York and LA, trying to forge relationships with major labels, because that's what at the time we were kind of taught to do. But the younger generation, the new guys coming out, aren't so excited about giving up all of their rights to a major. They want to say, hey, we want to retain our ownership and keep our rights to ourselves, and develop a platform or partner with platforms where we can just distribute our music to all the DSPs, the digital streaming platforms, and own all of our music instead of, you know, giving our stuff away. So we become a home for people that want to retain their ownership and just looking for digital distribution.
And it's Hustle.Distribution.
Hustle.Distribution.
Because I was saying dot. I confused Brian with that.
Hustle.Distribution.
I love that. Go ahead.
So when it comes to this, I guess, kind of new way of doing things, how has it been received so far?
I mean, just amazing, especially for people from Chicago. Beef is from New York, and we connected in New York 25 years ago when I was out there working with Violator, but it's the new thing, not only for Chicagoans, but for people all over, are, you know, retaining their rights. So it's been received very well.
And if you see right now, like, you see the way technology has moved in and made, like, being able to be an artist and a creator very equitable across everything, because everybody has access to the same tools. And now it's more about getting with the right teams and being able to own your own IP and exploit it in a way where you can actually feed yourself and support your career, rather than relying on a major institution or corporation that you will be indebted to for years to come, and then eventually be able to get out of contracts. It will take forever, you know, and it'll cost you a lot of money to do that. But now you have to be able to retain all your ownership and your rights and put yourself in a situation where you can grow and then license your stuff out if you want to go to the next level, but retaining ownership and control. And that's where we start.
Yeah, I like that you touched on the finances there. How do the finances for you guys' company compare to maybe somebody trying to be discovered by one of the big record labels?
I'll let you touch on that.
Well, I mean, what it is like, we're just a distribution company, you know? I mean, there's going to always be a special artist here and there that we take interest in, and then we have a more invested, more invested into that career, and we'll provide more resources. But it's about, you know, taking ownership of the city. It's about the spirit of the city. Even though I'm from New York, I've been coming to Chicago since the 90s, and it's always a unique city. It's like the hotbed of the culture. And you've had these different waves, from the Crucial Conflict to Common, and then you have Kanye, then you have Keith, and then Dirk, and then you have G Herbo, and then you have a little Osama, and then you see these generations go, but they go to LA, they go to New York, and it seems like it feels like everybody leaves the city, and then by the time they come back, it's like you know, they're already superstars, you know.
Right.
But what about here? Here, this is one of the most dynamic cities, one of the most beautiful cities. I mean, I'm from New York, and I love Chicago. Like, it's cleaner than New York, you know. And
yes, it is.
It's the luxury here is top tier. It's a top tier experience, and also you have the hotbed of culture in the South and the West Side, which is, you know, a very, very black cultural hub. And there's so much history that we could tap into, and it's even across different genres, of like the Chosen Few and Wayne Williams and Chicago house history, and it's just too much here to want to just leave the city and not reinvest into it.
That's a good point. Go ahead, I'm sorry, John.
And to touch on what he was saying, to your original question, our splits are comparable to any other distro platform in the world, to be honest. We're very aggressive with making sure that the artist or the label that they represent, their independent platform that they are part of, gets the lion's share of what the split would be. So we compete with all the other big boys out there.
Now, you mentioned distribution, if you don't mind me jumping.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Here. Can you explain to our viewers what exactly that means, and how does that work in terms of getting radio airplay or videos that people see on YouTube and things of that nature? How exactly does the distribution work?
Sure. So basically, we have what's termed as pipes. We have the same pipes that distribute your music to all the different DSPs all throughout the world. Now, a lot of people, when they think of streaming, they think of Spotify, Apple Music, or Tidal. But they don't really know that if you travel the world, there are over 100 different DSPs globally that distribute music. So it's not all about just the top 3. It's about the top 103. So we just distribute your music to all of those platforms and basically make your content available everywhere the music is heard, okay? Now, when you talk about what you just said, radio and video and all that, so we're just distribution. If you get a little action or emotion, as they say, we have label services that will support you from a marketing standpoint to help you promote your music at radio, to help you promote your music on the online platforms that provide videos, YouTubes, things of that nature. But at our core, we're here to make sure that your music is available all over the world.
Let me ask you this, because when I'm not in your space, right? I listen to music, but I'm not the person behind music. So I listen to, you know, all these big names that we know who are now with some of these bigger labels, right? Are there any independent artists that were independent, but we know them, they've become blow-up stars?
I mean, the model for independence I look at is somebody like an artist named Russ, who started independently and built such an audience and the loyal fan base that there was such a demand by the major system to do a deal with him because he controlled amount of influence. And it's like that when there's an independent artist that creates away from themselves and they sort of build their own fan base and their own culture, and then the label is a partner. It's just a distribution pipeline for all that culture that they have and access to the audience. So if you understand where we're headed towards marketing and everything, it's really about controlling or being able to get the right messaging to your audience, and then becomes like a loop. So the right messaging goes to your audience is locked in, that in turn goes into them pouring into your brand, and it becomes a cycle, and then you start then looking at other opportunities like CPG, consumer product goods, and being able to sell t-shirts or experiences, or to create member rewards and points and give them unique opportunities and stuff like that, where, you know, everybody will be further engaged and it will only spread the word of your artistry and your brand. And that's how you really capitalize in 2025 and beyond.
Now, I know.
I want to say, too, real quick.
Go ahead.
Another artist that you want to also take note of that you may not know that's independent is from Chicago, Chance the Rapper. He never did a record deal.
Right.
He's been independent since day one, but because he's such a big act with big features and big hits, you might think he's with a major, but he's always been an independent.
I got to ask you this. This is where I get a little crazy in the show, and I ask questions that are a little off the cuff. What is the craziest story that you've had? Because you've been in the music game for a very long time, connected not just with music, but fashion too. What is the craziest story that you have that maybe you've encountered during your time doing this? That you can tell on TV?
Yeah.
Family show.
Family show. So the first world tour with
Kanye, there was a after party we did in Italy.
I got to sit up out of my seat for this one.
Yeah, it was an after party in Italy, and somehow it was connected to. I don't want to say it was like they were connected. I'll put it that way. The guys that we were doing the party with, they were connected, and we didn't know, what it was about and what it was. It was our first time in Italy, and it was really good time, and the people were very nice and whatever. But the guy who connected us to the connected crew did something weird and got kind of crazy, and we ended up having to get out of Italy pretty quickly, and it was getting a little hectic.
When you say get out of here, you mean like an hour, like 30 minutes? You had to get on the jet?
Yeah, we had to get on the jet and get out of there. We went to Romania or something. Shout out to Chris, my man who set up the party.
Romania.
Yeah, we had to get up out of there quick. But that was probably the craziest story that's PG.
Yeah, for TV. How is Kanye doing? I know you still have a relationship. You're very close. How's he doing? Any new music coming up?
He has some amazing new stuff coming out soon. He's doing a lot better. We all have challenges.
Yes,
what I mean? We all go through things. I go through things, right? It is what it is. But, when you have family and friends around you that love you, as long as you can, hold on to some people that really are there for you, ultimately, through prayer and just, making sure that you're diligent about self-care, anything can be handled and dealt with. So we appreciate all the love and support from the city. And that's my brother. I'll never leave his side. So we talk all the time.
Any artists that are watching right now, maybe this is the first time that they've heard of Hustle Period Distribution. How can they find out more about it?
Hustle, the word hustle, traditional spelling, period, P-E-R-I-O-D, traditional, distribution.com. And then you can just email us from there.
Okay.
Are you guys looking for any particular type of artist?
No.
Anybody?
No, it's not just hip hop or R&B or urban. We're looking for just hit makers in whatever category.
Do you feel like there is, or maybe there's a few rising stars in Chicago that people haven't heard about? Because I know you mentioned the South and West Side. We got a drill rap scene here too.
Yeah, there's a kid. You want me to name names?
You can name them, sure.
Sure, yeah. I love this kid, Rufus Sims, from the West Side, that one of our A&Rs, Jordan, turned us on to. I still feel like it's something there with King Louis. He never really got his true shine and true shot. There's actually a bunch of guys that I really like, but those are the two that are like, to me, out of the tipping point. They're right there. They're just one hit away. So,
I know you're born and raised in Chicago, right?
Southside,
why do you think that so many artists, kind of like what Beef said, I don't like calling you Beef, I like calling you by your real name, but your nickname is cool too. Why do you think so many artists feel the need to flee Chicago?
I think, well, first, we're kind of been trained to go elsewhere to get on.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why we're bringing a distro platform here, so that they don't have to go anywhere to get on. So that's the first thing. Excuse me. That's the first thing. And then, a lot of times when you see these artists become successful in the city, they become targets. And,
True. Yeah.
How can I say this? Because I love my city. Right. I love the city. Whenever I get a chance to come home, I always get excited. But there are still some challenges here around what's going on, not just on the South and West Side. A friend of mine's bar got some issues not too long ago because of some violence.
Yeah.
And there's just so much going on that it's just a little challenging, I would say, for these guys when they become so successful to stay home. So
yeah, so many eyes on you.
Yeah, you just become a target, unfortunately. And not that you're not a target in New York or LA and Atlanta or Miami, it's just a different culture, a different it just hits different, because in those places, for whatever reason, like LA and Miami specifically, it's more common for you to be African American and wear a certain amount of jewelry or drive a certain kind of car, it's not, you don't become so much of a target.
That's true.
You know, and it's unfortunate, but it's just true. So.
What would you say, both of you, maybe sets Chicago artists apart from the other people from LA, from New York, from Miami, and even down south? What makes Chicago artists,
different,
I guess, unique in their own way?
We just the best ever, man.
It's true.
It is what it is. I mean, I would say, I mean, if you look at a Common or a Lupe or a Kanye or a Crucial or a Do or Die or Psychodrome, I mean, there's so many just amazing talent, so much, excuse me, amazing talent just from here that, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm a Chicagoan and I'm biased, but
well,
you said it too, though. But
I'm giving a point from an outsider perspective. I think it's not only generational, but I think it's in the DNA that goes back decades. You know, because there always was a call to go to Chicago. Like the Southern Delta blues musicians would hit the highway, the blues highway, to go to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Everybody from the South would go target Chicago. There's an energy here that comes from the spirit of the Deep South that is purely American, and it's his own, like, no disrespect to any other city, because I'm from New York. I'm a diehard New Yorker.
We hear it.
But but you know, New York has changed because over the years there've been so many integration of different cultures that always kind of you know, are inserted into the black community, and then, you know, it's great. You know, we got, you know, our Oxtail communities and our Jollof communities and our, you know, Birria Taco communities, and they all get mixed up in everything. But then that what made everything so kind of unique as an experience, from a uniquely black experience, gets a little bit, not diluted, but gets like a little bit infused with other cultures, and you started missing that. But here, there's something about the Midwest and the South that have that. So you have like a place like Atlanta that has that culture, but they have their icons in there, and they're there, and they move around the city, and they collaborate with each other. That is not here like that, but that's what it needs, and it needs that because that's where the energy is. It's like a purely black American experience in Chicago of success and wealth and entrepreneurism that's here. You see it.
It's true.
You know, it's the only place I really go when I drive by and I see $500,000 cars, and I look and it's a brother, and he's chocolate, you know what I'm saying? And he looks just like me, and he's doing real well. He just flies by, and then half hour later, here comes another one and another, and it's just like, man, you see such beautiful, industrious women who are really about it, and they really have companies and stuff, but it's here. And that's what I feel like it needs to be spread. It needs to be more poured into. We need to pour more resources into it locally.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have said a lot. It's been a pleasure talking to you. One more time before we go, they told us we got to wrap. Where can people go to find out more? One more time.
Hustle.distribution.com. All traditional spelling.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate you guys' time.
We have a whole lot more coming up on Chicago Now. Stay with us. We'll be right back. work. Yes, we are talking to Sasha Colby doing the Strip 2 tour, which is coming to Chicago, a 30-city North American tour in partnership with Live Nation. If that name sounds familiar to you, that's because she was the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race, and now she's hitting the road again. Can you hear me, Sasha? Thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, Tia. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Thanks for having me.
So good.
Thank you so much.
Yes, good morning to you. So you're doing this 30-city tour. You're coming to Chicago. What can people see if they come out to your show?
Well, we had a really great turnout last time at Talia Hall. Like, I used to actually live in Hawaii. I'm from Hawaii, but I used to live in Chicago from like 2006 to 2012. So a lot of Halsted Street and working at the Baton is kind of my old stomping ground. So it was really fun to have everybody back there last year, and I'm excited to be back at the Talia Hall. And there's just such a great venue, and it's really like a nice reunion to see all my friends and a lot of great Drag Race fans.
Since you've been here and you said you used to live in Chicago, got to ask you, what do you miss the most about Summertime Shy?
You know, I was just there for market days. I missed the 3 months that is just so beautiful there. Everyone's out, everyone's having a great time. I love the music festivals, the food festivals, but really just being at the lake, honestly, getting some tan and people watching is always great.
Is there a #1 restaurant that you must go to every time you touch down in Chicago, or is there a #1 food that you feel like you must have?
Gosh, like what do I usually do? Oh my gosh.
I got you caught up on
like
this.
I definitely need like the Wiener Circle dog. I need a Chicago dog or a Portillo's. But yeah, I think Portillo's would have to do it.
Do you put ketchup on your hot dogs?
I do it the Chicago way.
Okay, good.
Got the Chicago dog.
Good answer.
Good answer, good answer. All right, so your first solo tour was a huge success. What have you maybe changed or maybe kind of taken from that one that you're applying to this time around?
Yes, we are. So this is Strip 2. Last year we did Stripped, the first iteration, which was pretty much like a story about my life from a young kid to growing up and being on Drag Race and ending up winning. And now it's not so like a literal storytelling of my life, but more just kind of like this escape worlds and fantasy and a lot of fun ways to imagine different different like female archetypes we're playing with. We're playing with like the goddess and the femme fatale and the siren. And so all of these things that my drag persona embodies are all the things that the audience can tap into in their everyday life.
You know, Sasha, we've had some artists on the show before that kind of talked about their childhood and kind of navigating, finding themselves in a world that may not be accepting. Was that your story? And then how did you arrive at just being okay with being who you are?
You know, it's always an uphill battle when you're discovering who you are and realizing who you are is not what is the conventional norm to a lot of people. But I found like when you find your chosen, like your gang, your tribe, your chosen family, a lot of us in the queer community call it, to get community and a lot of support really helps you figure out who you are. And, you know, nowadays, it's just wild how Drag Race has allowed a lot of people who wouldn't have access to drag to really normalize it. And it's all over the world. It's in so many different countries. And as something that started off as a very fringe art form for queer people, seeing it be mainstream is amazing because it shows that drag is, at the end of the day, just art and storytelling.
I love that.
You're clearly living your best life, but you're also giving local drag artists in the city a chance to share the stage with you. Why did you feel it was so important to make that a part of your show?
I think it was important because I've benefited from those opportunities. I've been really, really blessed to have the career that I've had pre-Drag Race. And it's all due to a lot of people that I would look up to that gave me opportunities on stage, gave me an opportunity to be in their show. And as a way of paying back, I wanted to showcase artists that are from that city. But also, I want to see some good drag too, so gotta be entertained as well.
Let me ask you this, because I'm always the wild card between whoever sits in this seat with me. What is the wildest thing that you've encountered when you've gone on tour?
The wildest thing would have to be last tour. We were in Portland, and some people had snuck in the back to my dressing room, and it was like kind of wild. This like a little crazy stalker kind of like vibes. It felt really weird. Luckily, we're all safe, but yeah, that was something that doesn't happen normally. So.
What did you do?
Security.
Yeah,
I don't know. They lied and got through. It was so weird, and then yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, that sounds wild.
Now, on the flip side of that, when things aren't wild, what do you like to do in your downtime to kind of just relax in between events?
I'm a big nerd, so I like listening to like a lot of weird podcasts. I mean, I call it weird, but I love it. Like anything about history, it's just something that I like to completely forget about drag, and it's something that I can just kind of fantasize and kind of lose myself in. So yeah, I like a lot of like random history podcasts.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a random question because it is pumpkin season. Everything pumpkin, pumpkin latte, pumpkin pie. Do you like pumpkin? Do you like pumpkin spice lattes? Is that your thing? Do you even drink coffee?
I'm a one coffee in the morning kind of gal, so I'm not like I need to have coffee all the time. One's good. I'm not a pumpkin spice latte girl, but I do like a good pumpkin. And in Hawaii, we make this it's like a gooey, it's like a pumpkin mochi. So it's like a kind of like this hybrid of like an Asian and Hawaiian dessert that we made pumpkin flavored. So that's always yummy during Thanksgiving.
And what was it like? You grew up in Hawaii?
I did. Born and raised in Hawaii.
Up there?
I mean, it's paradise.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful place. I grew up with the mountains in my backyard, and my front yard was the ocean, and I never really appreciated it until I moved to the continental U.S. and was able to really understand, like, wow, I grew up in paradise.
What would you say to someone that may be watching right now, maybe they didn't even know you had a show, why they should come out to your show in October?
If you love art and if you love to have a good time, I suggest coming to my show. But honestly, in the crazy world that we live in right now, with so many things going on in the world, it's a lot. It's fighting for our rights and fighting to be heard and fighting to be humans. And in all this fight, I feel like this show is a great way to also take time and rest and recharge and celebrate, so we can have more energy to keep going.
Yeah,
and
very well said.
Tell our viewers exactly when and where the show is here in Chicago again.
Oh my gosh, let me look. I believe
10th.
it is.
It's October 10th.
We got you.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes, at the Talia Hall. Go get your tickets now. It's on my website or at Live Nation or at Ticketmaster.com.
I'm not letting you go yet. I got another question. So anybody, I used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race, and I did watch it when you were on there. I saw what was going on camera. What kind of stuff happens when those cameras turn off? Are there any like crazy things that you can tell us that maybe the average person watching would have no idea is happening?
God, I wish I had some good stories, but they're so strict with us not talking when the cameras aren't rolling. There's they call it hard ice. So that's when you have to be frozen and like no one can talk because they want to save everything for the camera, productions. But the one thing that I can say was all the fun things or all the fun sayings that like Rue would say while she was off, while the camera wasn't rolling. Rue would really give us like random pieces of advice and like just talking about like production or about how to like, handle what to do with money when you finally come into it when the show ends, and how to, I don't know, just kind of like really good wisdom, nuggets of wisdom, which was really cool.
Was there any big purchase that you made? Like once you did come into some money, was there like this one thing, like I gotta have this one thing?
No, I didn't make a big, I mean, what I did do is upgrade my home.
Okay.
Okay.
I definitely like wanted to make my home,
Feel like
yeah,
home.
a place where I can relax
Yeah.
and yeah, just a place to really like sit in my rest of my laurels.
Well, I love it. You have a great personality. You know, you see people on TV
Lighten
and you're
up
like,
on the camera, for
I think
sure.
they'll be nice. And you proved it. You are. And I hope you have a great show here in Chicago.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see everyone out there.
All right. We can't wait to
Appreciate
see
your
you.
time.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you next time. Okay. So next we are talking all things cheese. This is going to be really, really good. We'll have it coming up right after this break. We'll be right back. Brian Jackson a round of applause for joining us for the first show. Yes, he was amazing. He has some other stuff that he has to do in the newsroom, so I am all alone now. But joining me is Staten Bonner, who is talking about this true crime book about, it really sounds like a Hollywood movie when you really look at it. A $7 million French masterpiece of a car vanishes. And Staten really has a long history of being really in this space, a former Rolling Stone and GQ editor. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about this book. How did you even find out about this story? Because this is a true story.
Yeah, it's all true. It was in my 20 years as an investigative journalist, it was the most amazing story I'd ever come across. Basically, it's like White Lotus meets James Bond meets Fast and Furious. In 2001, in the middle of the night, 3 thieves broke into a plastics mogul's private garage in Milwaukee, just up the road from everyone here in Chicago, and stole a $7 million car. It disappeared in the night, took all the paperwork, took everything. It was gone. And then years later, a detective in Miami gets a call from a mechanic in the French Alps saying, I know where this stolen car is located. And that kicked off this international hunt for this car that involved the FBI, involved Interpol, and brought 2 former friends against each other in this battle. And, you know, it really also just goes into this deeper underbelly of this high-end world with multi-million-dollar cars and competitions in Lake Como and Pebble Beach, but this criminal underbelly just underneath. And that's really the heart of the story of the book.
So a $7 million car vanishes out of Milwaukee, oddly enough. That's not a car you can just drive around. People would notice that. Did you ever find out, you know, during your research that they were driving this car? And then how did it make it all the way to France?
Yeah, it's a great question. Yes, the car can be driven, but you know what's interesting is, and that's a beautiful picture of the car,
it
is these vehicles have become one of the most valuable pieces of art in the world in the last few years, rare cars. Like, so basically, just like you have Picasso's, Basquiat's, all of this high-end artwork, these rare collectible cars, a car maybe driven by, you know, Steve McQueen in the movie Bullet, or maybe one of the first Ferraris raced at Le Mans. Very rare cars have now become highly sought-after collectible, selling for tens of millions of dollars. And what happens is typically very wealthy people purchase them and, you know, restore them into their vintage, you know, original condition, original pieces, putting horsehair in the seats, getting them pristine, and then actually driving them. But just as with any world involving high-end art that's valuable, it also attracts thieves and forgers. And that's what happened here.
No, that's a good point, because even in Chicago, they're still in a Toyota. So that lets you know that if we're talking something even more high-end, I happen to drive a Toyota. If, you know, we're talking even more high-end, they'll steal that too. So I would imagine you were traveling all over the world, kind of following this story to write this book. Any unforgettable characters that you met along the way?
Yeah, there were so many. I mean, honestly, the detective at the heart of my story, Joe Ford, is a fascinating guy. You know, he is basically a broke, you know, he was an architect and then he went to law school and then he kind of traded in rare cars. But he has this very particular skill set of being able to find, if you have a stolen car, being able to retrieve it. And he has a daughter who's going blind. Is sadly, and so he has this real motivation to make money to give her a better life. But you know, I interviewed the FBI, I interviewed authorities across the country and the world, and basically they said, you know, there's no high-end team that can find these cars. You know, that doesn't exist. The FBI has a stolen rare art squad that just focuses on that, but there's no equivalent for the world of cars. So if a $10 million car goes missing, there's one guy they call, and it's this broke detective in Miami who's trying to give his daughter a better life. So he was just a fascinating character, but interestingly, the alleged thief in the story turns out to have been his former best friend and actually a business partner. They worked together coming up in New Orleans in the world of buying and trading rare cars before Joe became a detective and the other one became the subject of a global manhunt involving the FBI. So it's really an incredible story. You don't have to be a car person to like this. It's really about these two former friends turned worst enemies. That is the heart of the tale.
Well, I love cars. Never rode in a $7 million one, but I love cars.
Me neither.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. Where is the car now? We saw that beautiful picture, which makes me think that someone has possession of it. Where is it right now?
So the car was found, and criminal cases are all done on it, but there is still ongoing litigation surrounding the exact who exactly owns it at this point. So it is in holding, overseen by the FBI, just outside of Boston in a garage.
How long has it been there?
It's been there for years.
Wow.
You know, this is basically a case involving, there's still litigation surrounding it, so it could be a while before it's resolved. But as you can see, it is beautiful. It's a car that Robert Report called the most beautiful model in the world. It is absolutely fantastic. 1938, designed by Figoni Falaci. Just an absolutely stunning piece of artwork that in the Downton Abbey era, you know, they used to parade around with these and have matching clothes that they would wear with the car. And then it was traded. It was in Los Angeles, owned by Hollywood moguls. And now it's in holding. But it's just an absolute piece of artwork. And once it's released, it's going to go on to win awards, I'm sure, around the world. Any
idea how many of these were made during that time? And how many are still around?
Yeah, that's a great question. And really that gets to the heart of the matter. What makes these cars valuable is there just isn't many of them. So it needs to have, number one, you know, have been involved in some piece of history. And then number two, these cars also need to have some type of engineering or you know, original aspect or beauty. There was just a handful of these cars originally, only two that actually had this specific type of racing motor. And you know, actually, you can go to the Peterson Museum in Los Angeles and see kind of a sister car to this vehicle. The last one that went for sale, actually a couple years ago, a very similar model, sold for $14 million. So that just tells you how quickly these are rising in value. This car, when I started reporting, was worth $7 million. That's what it was purchased for. Now it could easily go 14, 15, maybe higher.
And what really determines that value rising? Is it the time? Is it who's connected to the vehicle? What is it that determines the value of it?
It's a great question. You know, I think you're seeing this space become more popular. There was just a report that came out a few years ago, again, detailing how very high-end rare cars have become the fastest rising valuable asset in the world, more than artwork, you know, watches, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's a small pool of people who are going to be spending this money. But if you look overarchingly, there's a lot more people with a lot more money around the world. And this is you know, it's kind of a gamble. I talked to one person who said, look, it's just a lot more fun than buying bonds, you know, or even a Picasso that I just hang on the wall. I'd rather buy one of these cars and then be able to drive it and enjoy it as well. And they do appreciate in value, just because is with any piece of art, there's just one or two or three of these. You know, there's very few. So if you are a collector and you're looking to purchase it, you know, there's just a limited supply relative to the demand. But it's funny, too, because a lot of the really 100 millionaires, billionaires who buy these cars, they take them to these competitions in a Pebble Beach, in a Lake Como. And there's a real competitive atmosphere to it. You actually get the car inspected, just like a best in show at a dog show. They go through it with white gloves, and, you know, you kind of drive it around. And there are real bragging rights. And so that is a competitive aspect to this. And sometimes in the pursuit for winning a blue ribbon, sometimes, you know, you buy a car that ends up being stolen.
Well, Staten, maybe we'll get our chance to own like something like this. You know, the Powerball is happening this weekend. Maybe if you play, maybe if I play, maybe we win. If you could get any car, this is the random question for you. After following this story, I'm sure you saw some other cars along the way. If you could own any luxury car, what car would it be?
No, it's a great question. Look, my book, The $1 Million Car Detective, available on Amazon right now. The end of the book details perhaps the most famous stolen car in the world, which is a 1965 Aston Martin DB5 that was used in the James Bond film Goldfinger. So there were two cars used in the movie Goldfinger that Sean Connery as James Bond drove around in. One was just the regular Aston Martin. Then the other one they had outfitted with all the machine guns and, you know, blades that came out of the tires, the stunt car. That car ended up trading hands after the production, wound up being owned by a real estate developer in the Miami area. And that car was stolen in the middle of the night in a way very similar to the car from Milwaukee that's at the heart of this story. And I spoke with several investigators. There were a lot of theories. It was airlifted out in the night on a giant, you know, cargo plane. People think it's somewhere in the Middle East. But this Detective Joe, who I spoke with, had a brand new theory. And that's actually the end of my book, is kind of his next case, which is chasing James Bond's Goldfinger Aston Martin. And frankly, that's the one I'd like. It doesn't get cooler than that.
And so does that mean that you're going to have another book coming out that's about that story? Because that would be a great story to follow.
It would be, yeah. So if you're a James Bond fan, check out my book. I've got a whole new theory on that. But yeah, there's a lot of different car stories I share in there, and it really is a whole secret world I didn't know about before I started reporting it, but it's absolutely fascinating, has a lot of really compelling tales. All these cars have incredible histories, right? Incredible stories, and it was really a lot of fun digging into those and sharing them with readers.
Yeah, I can't wait to go read your book. I'm going to go get it on Amazon, The $1 Million Car Detective by Staten Bonner. I want to ask you one final question before I let you go. During your research, did you see anything that was interesting in terms of how people secure their cars? You know, we're used to seeing, you know, on the streets of Chicago, maybe you have, you know, I forget what they call it, where they wrap it up and make sure it has that huge lock on it. Did you see anything like out of the ordinary, because these cars are so expensive?
Yeah, this is next level. That's a great question. But look, you know, I spoke with detectives and investigators in this, And what typically happens when a car like this gets stolen, and you are a person who can afford this, and you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars usually, honestly, if it gets stolen or there's any kind of question about it, you just pay it off. You write it off. Why? Because you don't want it in the news that the car was stolen, number one, because number two, people are then going to know that you have this private collection of cars worth tens of millions of dollars. There are these private garages all over the country nobody knows about. And they're literally, a lot of these collectors build these giant multi-story, you can imagine calling them like a giant man cave, but almost like these private museums full of these cars worth tens of millions of dollars, and you will never know about them. You might pass someone in a cool old car, you know, driving through Boca Raton or driving around Chicago, and you're like, wow, that's a neat car. What you don't know is that person then takes it home and drives it and parks it almost in their bat cave, secret bat cave, full of other cars. And these are literally private museums that no one knows about, but secrecy is the real key here. But it's absolutely fascinating, and I do go in the book into how some of these private collections are around the country, and it's absolutely amazing.
I got to read your book. I plan to go get it as soon as we're done with this interview. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on Chicago Now.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun.
All right, let us know when you write the next book, because it sounds like there's a book two coming, maybe even a sequel of some sort.
I'd love to come back. Yeah, $1 Million Car Detective. It's out there now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, coming up next, we're going to be talking Illuminati. So we're talking all things cheese. This is really interesting. We'll have it for you right after this break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Yes, it is gooey. It is stretchy. Keep watching. And it's oh so satisfying. We're talking about the perfect cheese pull, and here to talk to me about it is Katie Maldonado. I could keep watching that. He was on a ladder just going higher and higher.
It goes all the way up.
We're talking Illuminatis today. And what is this all about, this challenge? What is this about?
Yeah, so we are celebrating National Cheese Pizza Day. And it is powered by Proudly Wisconsin Cheese. So we're really honoring this 50-year partnership that we've had with Wisconsin dairy farmers, whose milk really creates that authentic mozzarella cheese that are in all of our cheese pulls.
Perfect. So is this something where I can walk into one of your restaurants and participate in this?
Yeah, so no, it's social media.
Got it.
Okay, so we are asking for people to come in, order their favorite Lou Malnati's pizza, give it their best shot at home, maybe take a video, share it on Facebook, on Instagram, tag Lou Malnati's, and use the hashtag LMCheese Pull Challenge. and then they'll be entered to win free cheese pizza for a year.
Oh, that's a nice little,
Yes.
you know, reward. So let me ask you this. If this was an Olympic sport, what would you be looking for the best cheese pull? So people out there that go try to do this know exactly what they're being judged on.
Yes, so we would be looking for stretch.
Okay.
So how high can they go? And yeah, just showing off that quality of the cheese.
Was that real? I mean, I can't believe that that person was on a ladder and...
That was real. So that was Eric at our Brookfield, Wisconsin store. And he created that video for us. I mean, that was fresh out of the oven, loaded with cheese, but it was fun to watch.
So is this a situation where when you order the pizza, you should order extra cheese to get an advantage, maybe?
Yeah, if you want to order some extra cheese, that's not a bad idea.
Well, tell me about, you know, it seems as though a lot of businesses are really, you know, taking social media and embracing it. Why is it so important for a business to have such a huge presence on social media right now?
Yeah, so, you know, I think it's important for us, you know, we really want to show off the quality of our products. And, you know, we at Lou Malnati's, they have a commitment to just using quality ingredients. And, you know, we have had this partnership with a local Wisconsin dairy farmer for over 50 years. And we're really focused on that quality, and we want to show it off on social media.
Is this the first time that you're doing the cheese pool challenge? Because I know you do different challenges throughout the course of the year. Is this the first time?
Yeah, so this is for National Cheese Pizza Day.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Which is?
Today.
Today, perfect.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
so would you like to try?
I guess. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna mess this up, but let's try. So what's the key here?
Okay.
How do you do it?
So what you want to do?
Zoom in on this?
Yeah. So what you want to do, and I'm no expert.
I'm gonna follow you first.
I'm no expert. You really want to get in there and break up the crust.
Okay.
In the back.
So I'm gonna go here.
Yep. Follow that line. And then you want to just kind of push
this
through.
Is some work, girl. This is like a workout.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're gonna push through there.
Ooh, this is cheesy.
And
do
then,
I get to eat my piece after?
Oh, you get to eat it.
Okay. All right.
And what you want to do is you want to just pull nice
you might have to stand
slow.
up.
I know. Let's see how high. Okay.
Okay, you did pretty well.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. Okay, that's actually fun.
Yeah,
this is actually
it's
fun to do.
fun.
I should probably go next to you though.
Yes.
Because I feel like if I go next to you, that'll be better.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's already kind of.
It's already halfway there. Yep.
All right. Let's see what we can do
Check it
here.
out.
I thought I was so strong.
You got this.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't want to have to stand up, but let's see. So you dig in. Ooh, I'm not good at this. Okay,
got
you
it.
dig in and you
I know
just
it
pull
takes
up.
practice. Yep. You just pull up. Let's see. I got you. I got you over here.
Oh, it's smoking too. Here we go.
There
I'm
you
gonna do
go.
it real slow. I'm still holding on. Don't you try to stop me, Katie.
There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is fun.
Yeah.
That is really fun. I like that. So is this just today? How long does this challenge go?
Yeah, so it runs through September 10th.
Okay, September 10th. So people have a few days to get in on the action.
Get in on the action.
Hashtag
LM Cheese Pull Challenge.
Okay, so we're talking about this. What else is coming up? I mean, we're moving into fall. I mean, it almost practically feels like it outside. And winter's coming too. Anything else going on in the world of Lou Malnati's?
Yes, so lots going on at Lou Malnati's. So the month of September, we're actually inviting the community to support cancer research through various initiatives at Lou Malnati's. So we have our Dessert to Donate campaign. So for every dessert that people purchase, we will provide $1 to the Lou Malnati's Research Cancer Foundation.
Wow, that's awesome. How long have you guys been doing that?
I believe
a very long time.
Yeah, the foundation has been since 1971.
Okay,
yes.
got it.
You can also purchase donation circles at our store or round up to the nearest dollar, and this will all go back to cancer research.
The restaurant is so popular as it is, right? You have tourists, you have people that it's been their mainstay, the place that they've gone really their entire lives. Why do you feel the need to still do so much for the community? Because really, the business, I would think in a lot of ways would still exist. People would still be coming.
Yeah, I think, it's really ingrained in our culture. Lou and Jean Malnati really have that tradition of generosity that we kind of carry throughout the community, giving back through fundraising and charitable events as well.
Okay, I love it. What kind of pizza is this that we're
So that is
eating
a
today?
cheese pizza.
This is straight up cheese.
Straight up cheese.
Okay, let me get a little taste. I don't think I've ever had cheese pizza from Lou Malnati's. No, ever. I think I've always gotten sausage and cheese. I'm gonna take a little.
How is it?
Like breakfast in the morning.
There you go. Yep.
You guys wanna get some? Yes. Can I get a round of applause? Now I can't continue the show because I'm eating. Where can people go to find out more? On your social media?
Yeah, so check out our social media. That video is posted. And then, yeah, it's in partnership with Proudly Wisconsin Cheese. So we are just, talking about the quality of their cheese. Fun fact about Wisconsin, it is the only state that requires a license to make cheese. So that quality is great. Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means that someone's going to check out the product before it makes it to the masses?
It is,
like certified.
It's quality.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, you coming to try it? Okay, you gonna try a pull? Okay, we gotta get a plate for you. Do we have a plate over there, Jenna?
Here you go.
So Delaney can try it with us?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. We'll just
all right, are you gonna try a pull?
I'm gonna
try a pull. All right, let's see it.
Yeah, let's see how it goes here.
For this one over.
Delaney is one of the amazing people that helps put Chicago Now on. Give that a round of applause. I think back there. Okay, come on, Delaney, you got it.
Oh,
you might have to cut
there
a
you
little
go.
bit. Oh, you got it. Okay, keep going. Slow.
There you go.
So
that's a good one. I think you're the winner.
You're the winner. The cheese stayed, but
free cheese pizza for a year.
She grabbed her chest like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So how does that work with the free cheese pizza for a year? So does that mean you could come every week and get a pizza? Is it every month? How does that work?
Every month.
Every month?
Yep, one free cheese
pizza every month. Wow, okay, so 12, that's not bad.
Yeah, and I recommend if people aren't a part of our loyalty program to sign up because there are a lot of rewards and promotions that they can receive as well.
Perfect. I love that. And so is that through an app or is that straight through the website?
Through the website.
Through the website.
Malnatis.com.
So sign up.
Rewards. Yep.
All right. Well, we thank you for being with us. That was absolutely amazing. The pizza tastes good. And yeah, participate in the challenge. You said they have what, until the 10th?
Until the 10th.
Until the 10th. So you got to get in on the action now. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Mothers in
Live from Chicago,
This is Fox 32 News at noon.
Next at noon, protesters rally outside the Broadview ICE facility as the city is bracing for federal troops. Chicago is honoring comedy legend Bob Newhart at a very familiar site. We're going to tell you where. And let's